Good morning, welcome back to A to Z Gardening, and I'm indoors inside the greenhouse, and that may be where the home gardener turns their focus this time of year, being that the weather is not going to be conducive to starting your peppers and your tomatoes and your vegetable garden so much. So it's very common for folks to want to visit the garden center and look at interior or house plants. So I'm going to give you a little bit of growing tip if that focus in your home gardening has turned to indoors. So one thing that I see a lot of times is the home gardener will come in and look for a smaller plant, something tiny like this, because they want to see it grow and thrive. So a couple of the tips as far as growing indoor houseplants is this time of year, the weather and the culture is changing. What's going on is ideal for starting those mums, and even we'll talk in a couple weeks about poinsettias. That condition is the reduction in light. It is going from a long day, so summertime, to shorter days. So why does that matter to our houseplants? They know the change in the seasons just like the outdoor plants, so they're going to slow down. They're not going to grow as vigorously, and they're not going to root into a new container. If you were to buy something small and pot it up just to hobby with some houseplants, you'd be better off this time of year because we're slowing our growing to get something that's actually rooted in and already of a little bit sizable pot, so that it'll sustain itself throughout the season without that transplant. Then in the early spring, we're going from shorter days back to longer days. When Easter starts coming around and we all see longer days, everybody gets happy because the sunlight's coming back. The plant too knows it, and it'll start growing more vigorously. So keep your transplant projects till the spring and maintain the plants you have in container size that they are. Also, they're going to reduce the amount of water and nutrition that's going to be used in the off season. So it's a good idea to not use the calendar for watering, but go ahead and pick the plant up and let it dry between waterings a little bit, not to the point of a detrimental wilt, but something that's going to be a little bit lighter. If you are used to watering the plant, say twice a week during the growing season, you may only have to water it once a week, but always go by weight and what the plant needs. Another great idea is we have a lot of humidity in the summer. Indoors, a lot of forced air heating is very dry. So the relative humidity or moisture in the air is very low. We want to make sure that these tropical plants have a tropical environment. So don't be afraid to put it in a saucer, put some gravel in the bottom. When you water it, water in thoroughly so the gravel gets moist. That will create a microclimate of humidity. One option for feed in the winter is reduce that water-soluble feed just a little bit periodically, maybe once a month, or consider something like the steaks. They're just a pack of crackers every day instead of a turkey dinner. You push them down into the soil, they dissolve nutrition very slowly at a low rate. If you've had a bunch of houseplants over the years and tend to get those pesky bugs, mealy bugs, whitefly, aphids, because the culture isn't ideal, they tend to kind of get prone to insects indoors. You could sprinkle a little bit of this preventative, kind of like a vaccine that you sprinkle in the bottom of the soil, water it in, it soaks up and lasts up to 8 weeks at a time. For any questions about keeping your houseplants thriving indoors this winter season, contact any of us professionals here at Stans.